Hey guys, if you've been watching our content here in the Artisti Espresso Bar, you would have spotted the Mazzer ZM. We've been using this grinder for many years in the Espresso Bar, so I'm surprised we haven't done a video on it. So today, I want to talk you through some of the specs, some of the reasons we chose it over other grinders, how it's helped us in our Espresso Bar, how it helps our workflow, whether it could suit you in your cafe, and why we recommend it and keep it in our Espresso Bar. All right, so let's just talk through the obvious specs. You've got a 320 gram hopper on the top here, which is quite small. Obviously, we're using it as a single dose grinder. We'll be tipping beans in the top of it. So obviously it's not really a retail grinder. This is not the grinder that we use for our retail beans. We've got other grinders for that. You've got simple hopper chutes. It is just controlled by this knob on the side. So as far as this screen, it's quite large, it's easy to read. You just have to learn how to navigate through it. You'll notice there's some buttons directly on the front. They are giving you access to what is 20 pre-settings of this grinder. Notice there's no collar. This grinder is actually moving in microns by digital movement. So it is calibrated inside the grinder. It will then allow you to save many settings. We have 20 different coffees saved in this. We have 4 different buttons on the front of it that we can access quickly those grind changes, and as you press those buttons, those grind changes will happen and you'll move between the different blends. This has 83 ml burrs in it, nice big size burrs that allow us to go from espresso to filter roasts to filter settings so that we can have really refined espresso settings in there. So burr size is great. We've currently got the bag clip on it that allows us to attach a dosing pot, and we love our dosing pots. We'll attach the dosing pots. We could clip a bag to it, obviously. This is the standard Mazzer ZM. There is a Mazzer ZM Plus that does have a portafilter holder on it, and that seems to be the biggest difference between the two. We've just went for the original because we like the dosing pots, but you can switch. If you go to the Plus, you can get a portafilter holder, and that will hold your handle so you can grind straight into that, which if you've got pre-dosed amounts of coffee would work well, but we use the dosing pots. It does allow you to do a timed setting on this one as well, so you can change that between just running the motor for a long amount of time, or you can change that to a timed amount of grind. Nice little things, little magnetic tray here just for cleaning. Nice large power knob on the side, and it's generally a good looking grinder. It's a fair size grinder. It's got a large motor in it, 900 revolutions per minute. So it takes up a bit of space, but no more than some of the other grinders in the market. Probably the biggest comparison we get with the ZM is got to be the Mahlkonig EK43. It's definitely in the same space. The 43 has a bit bigger burrs, bigger powerful motor. One of the things just personally that I was having troubles with the EK43 is we were having troubles going finer. Now, tell us in the comments, there might be people that upgraded the burrs. We're talking years ago now, so there's been some evolutions of that, and there's the new EK in the market. But we found that we're having troubles getting the ability to go fine enough, which was driving me crazy. I couldn't really dial in espressos as much as I wanted. Great for filter. This allowed me to go as fine as I wanted to. It definitely gave me the ability to change those grind settings really fine. You are doing it digitally, so I think one of the things about this grinder is the usability. If you're comparing this to the EK, the EK has a manual dial on it, which practically in the middle of service could be really quick, but you were having to write down 4.3 on a sticky note and putting it on the side of the grinder, and hopefully that 4.3 setting was the same as the next day. One thing about these grinders, now that we're using the technology, it's digital burr reading. It's actually measuring the distance in microns, so you're getting a more precise setting even as the burrs wear out. So that is, from a usability point of view, the EK it's really quick, but it feels more analog and it's less precise. With this, as you navigate through the menu, you can really refine that grind size. You can save your settings, and you can go through and override your settings as you make changes. I think the person that owns this grinder, they understand the technical side of it. They know how to manage the change the grind settings. If you're if you're a technical person, you'll love this grinder. You'll love the ability to be really precise. I wouldn't recommend it for an espresso bar that has lots of different staff and that you need to make really quick grind changes and you're not precise and you're not willing to train people on how to use tech, because it is a bit of a jump from the EK or like a manual change grinder, because you need to understand the tech. If you're using like the Mahlkonig sync range, that would be similar in how you need to understand how to navigate the menu. So if you're that way inclined, I'd go that way. One of the other reasons that we did start using this is we bought a bunch of them for different customers. People were buying them and they were using our coffee, and generally in a grinder setting, your number 4 is different to my number 4, unless it's always different. On this, we were able to tell our customers what the grind setting was in our espresso bar, and that would give them at least a good starting point. I don't know that it was perfect, but definitely if I have a setting on my Mazzer ZM, I could tell my customer and they could set theirs up to the same, and then they'd be able to dial in around that. That was a real sweet spot for us. Just scalability for us, being able to give someone a bag of coffee and say, start with this grind setting. We're not going to burn through a bunch of coffee. So that was a huge advantage for us with the Mazzer ZM for sure. If you've been watching the videos, you might have seen us open these drawers and you'll notice a whole bunch of dosing pots. This is giving us the ability to pre-weigh out, and we've got multiple single origins running. We've got multiple, we got our decaf, we got our delicate blend, our fixed blend. And if you come in the espresso bar and you order that, I can jump straight to one of the settings that's been dialed in and set up, and that is just one click away from being dialed in for that coffee. That expands our menu massively. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. There's no pieces of paper written down as to what the setting is for that. We can then weigh out coffee and run our batch brew as well. So we've got the ability to expand the menu. Was definitely for us. We didn't want to have a big lineup of grinders on the bench. Actually, that's a lie. We did that once. It looked really cool, but it sucked. It wasn't very practical for us to actually dial in those coffees, and they weren't single dose grinders, so that we were wasting a lot of coffee. So if you're an espresso bar that has multiple grinders on your bench and you find that you're wasting coffee because you're not using that grinder very often, and every time you go to grind you're probably using pre-ground coffee, or it's just the grind retention inside a lot of those hopper grinders, this is probably a great grinder to look at. It is a bit of an investment. They sit around the $5,000 to $6,000 Australian money. That's kind of where the Mahlkonig EK43 sits. You're paying for big 83mm flat burrs. You're paying for fast grind time. It will just punch through a shot. This is not like other grinders with that 5 to 10 second grind time. It will just drop a shot straight through, super fast and efficient. So you'll get the speed, you'll get the consistency, and you'll be able to expand your coffee menu like we have it in our espresso bar. Because this grinder is Mazzer, you can trust it. Their facilities are amazing. Luke was lucky enough to tour them and comes back and tells us how clean and precise what they do is, and you can see it in the build. It looks schmick, it's really well made. There's smart things like being able to open up and get straight to the burrs to be able to clean them and replace them. It's nice to navigate the menu. It is solid, it is well made. It's lasted us many years, and because you're using it as a single dose, it's not the kind of grinder that you're changing the burr set too often, so it's really easy to clean and maintain. The grind retention is pretty well, not like 0.5 of a gram, because your beans are dropping straight through those flat burrs and we're not getting that grind retention. So these bag hopper, there's just from the static, a little bit of coffee will sit there, but this bag clip will allow us to actually just clip our dosing pot on there and just make sure we get that full dose out as we empty that coffee. Then we move over and we can run that through our espresso bar and make quick changes between different coffees. Sorry, I forgot a really cool part of this menu. When you're navigating the menu, you're not just navigating numbers, you're actually able to rename your coffees. You can have whatever blends you want in there, single origins in there, your batch brews, your V60s, all your settings, and you can name them. So all of our single origins have been dialed in to that specific roast, that specific coffee, and our baristas are trained to know how to adjust the grind and save the setting. So if someone else jumps in the bar, they can just quickly change what coffee it is by name and I can choose which one of these, of the 4 pre-settings on the front, which ones I want to allocate to. It's super quiet. If you listen, it's just a very faint sound as those burrs are moved. And then just generally, it's not a super noisy grinder. It doesn't have the big end motor in it, just whizzes that coffee through. So from a bar perspective, it doesn't add to the extra noise in your espresso bar. All right, let me give you a quick little demo, show you how quick and easy it is. Just grab my dosing pot, sit that up there, choose the single I want to run, change over to which one I want to change over to. All right, so we just hit the start button. That'll get the motor going. I just drop my beans from there, just so those beans all fall into the blades at the same time and they're getting evenly ground. That's grinding through. I'd grab my handle, get that prepped, give that a flick out, motor off, and we're good to go. That is my single dose, ready to put straight through the machine, and we can just be pumping out a bunch of different coffees through that all day. Smells amazing. The coffee that's coming out of this has always tasted great, and it's been very versatile, very easy for us to use, amazing in our espresso bar. If you're interested in getting one of these into your cafe, we do list them on artisti.com.au to buy. If you're a cafe in Australia and I can personally help you implement this into your cafe, you could be serving Champion, Fix, Delicate, our full range, and be a cafe partner with us, and I can support you with a grinder like this. So if that's of interest, definitely reach out. We're happy to answer any questions you have. You can always put your comments in below and the community will help us answer those questions. Do you have the Mazzer ZM in your cafe? What do you think of it? Or have you tried it, you didn't like it? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.